Let me hit record real quick.
The fingerprints on your screen look like an entire landscape.
Shh, be quiet.
Well, you're not going to want to use this audio.
Shh. Starting.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another PBS Live. Just me clapping. Wow.
Let's go!
Simon's in the house.
Super intense.
But yeah, we were just talking about ABC last night with Kaylee here at the Commons. Dude, what'd you think last night?
I think it was, again, I'm gonna start sounding like I'm beating a dead horse if you keep asking questions that I've given answers to, because the answer pretty much stays
give it
the
out.
same.
Give it out there. I don't think you told everybody.
I mean, listen, I just said it 10 seconds ago. I've said it a handful of other times. It's like, there's a reason we passed the torch on, and so far.
Oh, Janet's downstairs.
Having Michael Atwood. Does somebody have a card?
I have a card.
Like having Michael Atwood take over ABC was a great choice, because he was able to put in the time and energy to like make it new, to like take what it was when we just built it from nothing into something, and that thing was like self-sustaining. It was like Atwood is able to take that theme and like the general outline that we provided and elevate it further. And like the kind of idea of keeping it social, keeping it community oriented, all of those things are still there. They're just done better than we did them when we kind of gave it away.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think
energy was high. Like vibes
energy
last night were
energy was really
super
high.
Yeah.
Did you see Alex showed up? Alex, our friend, the pedicab.
Yeah.
Did you see his shirt?
Dude, he's funny as.
Did you get one, Topher? Here, let's see if we can get canceled again.
Yeah, this is the reason we can't get sponsorship.
No, I mean we didn't make the shirt. Alex did. I mean, like he's just a pedicab. He's a pedicab Austinite, and he made that shirt, and now he's selling it to Bitcoiners.
Do we know how high up the camera angle is?
I don't know.
You might want to idea.
Logan's giving us the thumbs up.
All right, cool.
No,
yeah,
man.
Alex is a funny dude. Have you?
Yeah, I listened to his show.
Not his show.
At it.
The show. You've been on the show. I've been on the show. The show's a good show, but have you seen what he does with like? He goes to like public hearing events and stuff, and like school board events.
Oh, really?
It is like Alex Stein. He like literally puts on like a mask, and he'll get up there, and he basically takes the left's like caricature, and he like hyper does it at public events. He'll be like in front of the mayor, in front of like public boards, and he'll be like these people are, the non-vaccinated are literally murdering people and like second gun laws, and we have to like, they need put on red flag lists because they literally shouldn't be allowed to be human beings, and like he gets so into it, and it is hilarious.
But he's
this
doing it on
guy
purpose?
who does this, he does like a pedicab service for Bitcoin.
He's one of the he works out of the pedicab shop that's on the east side.
What's his name?
Alex.
He
was here yesterday. Yeah.
No, it's not Alex. It's not ABC. It's not ABC like our friend. It's another Alex.
Oh, okay.
But he does a pedicab business.
Alex Stein?
No, that's another Stringer, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But listen, dude, he just did one not too long ago, like a couple of days ago, where he literally went out with a petition board and was saying that he was getting people to sign a petition to make abortion mandatory.
Wait, what?
And
Wait, what?
He had a petition. He was going out to people and he was telling them he had a petition to basically, he's like population control because planet Earth and global warming, and like we need to reduce the numbers for global warming. He's like, abortion should be mandatory. And so he had people literally, and then when like this one guy was he literally got a guy who was like ready to sign up, and he was like, yeah, he's like, are you in this county? Because like you have to be in this county. He's like, put your name and your address. I need your address. So these people were literally ready to sign up for it, and they were going to give their name and their detailed address information. It was like, this is. But man, you got to watch. People were ready. They were signing.
What's his podcast or what's? I just follow him on Instagram.
It's just his Twitter, and then he's got like links in his Twitter to like go follow his YouTube.
Yeah.
Conversations in the pedicab.
Conversations in the pedicab.
Oh yeah, we need to bring up our sponsor, Voltage. Bring it up, Logan. Yeah,
my English is not so good today.
We want to thank Voltage for their sponsorship.
Transition, but thank you, Voltage, for your sponsorship.
But just a quick little rundown. Last night at ABC, Nate was here giving a Voltage demo on BTC Pay Server. I learned a thing or two. It took him like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, probably around there, to spin up a BTC Pay Server. He would need to have obviously flow in there and liquidity and all that stuff for like the channels, but he did it. He did it within like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then
hey Ben,
BTC Pay Server was up.
Are you
and
participating?
It was running with Voltage, and then they also have a little cool thing that was released. I think it was last week.
Hey Ben, come tell us about Voltage.
I think maybe Nick was bringing it up. Oh shit, Ben Carmen? Ben Carmen? Tell us about Voltage, Ben. This is better.
As an executive Voltage member, I think they're great. We use them at TVC, and yeah, they're really good. No complaints.
What do they do? Provide?
They host Lightning nodes, so our TVC, our entire Lightning infrastructure is on Voltage. So you pay an invoice, it goes to Voltage, and it works well. And yeah, they've been like their team is like super nice. Like they didn't have like ability to send like Taproot transactions on their node, and I was like, hey, the user queued up with a Taproot withdrawal, and we can't process it. And they're like, oh sorry, and then like next week it was fixed. So like they're really nice and like work with us really well. So and
it's kind of cool too. Like we get to see them all the time. Like
yeah,
Paul,
friends with like
Nate.
half the team.
Yeah.
Like you go to a conference, you're like, oh hey, what's up, Graham? And like
and Bobby and everybody there.
Yeah.
It kind of just feels like set a part of the family. So it just works, dude.
Yeah. And like Nate is like fantastic. Like you ask him like, oh, we need extra liquidity. He's like, do this, and then like you're able to just like figure it all out. So, yeah,
I love
props to all of
Voltage.
them.
Shout out to all the Voltage team, man. They're just killing it. I feel like they're just out there building, man. So that's our Voltage ad, Logan. Ben, how's the Bitcoin company?
It's good.
Yeah?
We just launched physical cards. That was cool. I don't know. We're selling lots of gift cards. It's been fun. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, our international Visa card is like something like 70% of all of our sales. So like,
Really?
because like I kind of realized like almost every Bitcoin product is U.S. only. So we're like one of the like few like ways to do this. So
Yeah, it's
I know
pretty
we have,
cool.
Like a big Brazilian user base because they like that shit. So I don't know. It's been fun.
Dude, I've been using it.
Uber Eats. on
Yeah,
there.
so like I've been using it for just different things, but mostly just Uber and all that kind of stuff. But I like that new thing. I need to write about it. I haven't gotten around to writing about it, but like you can literally go to Uber, and from there it has like, I know it sounds really dumb, Ben, but like those little small things make all the difference. What is that called? It's like a checkout flow or something. I forget what Price said it was.
The deep link where you
The deep link.
And yeah, like we have just like a button now. You auto redeem the Uber card, so you don't have to like copy paste, go into Uber, find where you add a gift card. It just
Yeah, it just works, man. That's what I kind of like about it. It's just it just literally works.
man.
And I think for me that was always like the biggest problem is like just trying to find an app that does literally everything. And
no.
yeah, he's on Twitter. But yeah, you just stuff like that. It's just it's pretty seamless, man. You guys are doing a good job, dude.
Can you reload the card, the physical card? No.
If you want reloadable cards, you need to KYC people. So we're not going to do that.
So what's the difference between the physical card, Ben, and then the virtual card?
The physical, like it comes to you, like I mean, my wallet's over there, but it's just like a little shitty Visa card you get.
Oh, so it's
you can like actually look physically.
You can actually swipe it.
Yeah.
But will the virtual card work? Like if I was going to do Apple Pay?
Yeah, you can add those to Apple Pay. Sometimes you have problems internationally, but if you're in the U.S., it always works.
Boss.
Yeah, like that's cool. The physical, it's like the same limits. You could do like up to $10,000 a day, and it's cost like
Oh, really?
$1 to ship them. Like so you can get like $10,000 worth of them for like $1 extra shipping.
Wow, dude, that's awesome, man. You guys have,
Huge.
yeah.
And now it's physical cards. You can get 10 physical cards.
Mm-hmm.
How long is it for the shipping to arrive?
It takes like a day to process, and then normally like 5 to 7 days to ship or something. It
Whoa,
depends.
dude, you guys added Blockstream too?
Yeah. We've been like rolling out our like third-party merchants kind of thing. We're like just partnering with a bunch of Bitcoin companies. So yeah, we got Blockstream. We added like Baltic Honey Badger, BitBlock Boom. We sold Bitcoin Plus tickets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we may be adding them soon. Oh fuck, that reminds me. I'm supposed to add Bitcoin Magazine today.
Sorry, CK.
I think we're adding CoinKite and like a couple others.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
CoinKite? Oh
So,
my
yeah,
god,
CoinKite
that'd be
will finally accept
sick.
Lightning through us.
That'd be sick, dude.
They're not in there yet. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be sick. When is that coming, Ben?
I don't know when they gave us the coupon codes. So
Come on. CoinKite, let's get on it. Bitcoin company, let's go. Yeah, dude, I use it all the time for different things. Like all the time. Like whenever I go to Roadhouse, boom. Right, Simon? We do our pleb steak at Roadhouse. Their $25 steak.
Oh, yeah.
We just Bitcoin company app.
With the Bitcoin company.
yeah, I remember like seeing the purchase and I saw it on Twitter like 10 minutes later. You guys like orange filling the.
You ever seen it in real time?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is where like I go back to it time and time again. Like there's all these different apps I can use. I just rather use my friends' apps.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
You're saying there's a 10K per day spend limit, right? But it seems like the max on the card is 1K to the top,
Yeah.
and it's one-time load. So
You can buy.
is there a 1K limit?
It's 1K per card, 10K per day. So you can buy 10 cards a day.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So
It's,
if you wanted to buy something for 1,500, you need to add like 2 cards and split it up.
mm-hmm.
Is that a KYC limit as well?
Yeah, we'd have to KYC you otherwise. That's just bullshit.
Dude, can I
regulations.
ask you like kind of a related topic? I mean, I'm not gonna go too much around the whole thing that's going on, but like, what did he mean by when he said that you were gonna have to, like? No, seriously,
No,
like
yeah,
me as a
no, yeah,
pleb,
yeah,
like,
no, it's-
what did he mean by saying that you were gonna have to go on? Like, what did that mean? Like,
No,
what did that comment
so
even
he
mean?
was talking about like chain analysis and needing to do that. So like the future plans for Bitcoin companies adding like an exchange and banking, and most like exchanges and like crypto banks or whatever require that you like they do like chain analysis using like chain analysis or elliptic or something, and a lot of that's just like normally like your banking provider, your liquidity provider like requires you to do that. Otherwise, they'll like they won't work with you because they're all cucks. So
Yeah.
he's just basically saying like, oh, you're gonna need to do that, but like legally you don't need to. It's the law says like you're supposed to do what's reasonable, but you can interpret yourself. So what you can do is just do that instead of like outsourcing it to like one of those like terrible companies. You could just do it in house and make your own reasonable like risk analysis. So like chain analysis might be like, oh, all coin joins are flagged as risky, but personally I'm like, okay, we think it's reasonable to allow people to use coin joins. So that'll be in our chain analysis, like personal ones.
So,
we're not,
so you're
we're
saying,
not like outsourcing
yeah.
our customer data to other people. So like that's like I'm guessing just Nick investing in people that with like lower standards that just want to do that stuff, and just like, oh, just outsource it to someone else. But obviously at Bitcoin company we don't want to do that. So.
Yeah, I know, and that's what you guys always said from the beginning, and that was like one of the biggest things, like because Price is an advisor to Pleb Lab, and like one of the things he told Kyle early on was like get a lawyer, like, and I know you guys are lawyered up too, so it's like I think maybe, I mean I don't want to speak for the guy, but maybe he's just not talking to enough founders about how they're operating these days. Maybe it just seems like it. Cause
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
He's talking to all of them.
he's talking all the. No, I think it's mostly just like that's like the default position most people do, but it's like if you, like it is easier if you just I'll just pay chain analysis 100K and be done with it. But like we don't want to do that because fuck those guys. So
yeah, and that's another thing too. Like Yeah, that's another thing too. I think us as Bitcoin companies, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but I know us here at Pleb Lab, like we're real, like Kyle's like super penny pincher. So it's like you kind of have to watch like every little thing. So if you could do it in house, you're gonna do it.
Well, I mean, it might end up being more expensive in house just because we need to like spend all the developer time doing it. But still, like, you know, we're protecting our users, and that's, you know, worth everything. So.
Dude, this is why I'm a long Bitcoin company, man. Yeah. Thanks for coming on PBS, Ben.
No problem.
Feel very special.
Actually, I just did a full episode with Stefan Livera on that the other day. So.
Oh, you did?
So listen to
Check
that
out Stefan's.
Yeah, it came out yesterday. If you want to listen to that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're trying to make this show more friendly, so you probably won't lose your job from participating.
No. Fire me.
No, Carmen's unfireable. He's totally unfireable.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Boss.
Dude, I love how you came back and you were just like, this is another thing that really just bothered me personally, just because I'm your friend. Like, the fact that he treated you like that, to me, was just like, that's just disrespectful, man. Like, you're such a nice guy. And the fact that you were just offering, I'm like, hey, have you looked into this?
Yeah, well,
like, I heard your voice when you said that. And so, like, to him just to kind of, like, do that to you, I was just kind of, that hurt me. I was like, man, that's not cool.
I mean, like, he knew what I was doing, where I was like, you know, like, use L and URL, not this. And, like, you know, it's like,
You built the tweet to like. Oh yeah. Remind
I don't even, yeah, we don't have to get into it.
but yeah, I mean, it was just mostly just like, I mean, I was digging at him, but being nice about it. So he just went over. Like, I originally wrote like something mean, like, this is fucking retarded, use L and URL.
Yeah, but
And
then
I
you
was
thought
like-
about
I
it.
was
You
like,
thought
no,
about
it'd be
it.
better if just be the bigger man, do it like this, and then, yeah.
You might get fired. It says I'll fire his ass if you did one first.
Oh, really? Well,
Come and get it.
I guess you're not on fire.
All right.
all right. Well, thanks for coming on the show,
Yeah, no
Ben. I
problem.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
Price jumped into the comments. That's funny.
He says he watches the show.
Yeah, I was listening to Citadel the other day. I saw you in the comments. Like, it was awesome. Yeah, good times, man. Good times to be a Bitcoiner.
Facts.
Yeah. Simon,
You got that list? Where was the rest of the stuff?
Oh
we were
yeah.
talking
Well, I
about?
want to see
We
what
got
Simon. I
so
know
much
Simon
interesting
has
shit
like
on that list this
I know
week.
Simon wants to talk about stuff. Do you have anything, Simon?
I don't have any.
Okay, you don't have anything.
Comments for now.
Simon always will just let you know when he's got something to say.
That's it.
Yeah,
Kyle.
he does. Let me pull up the list real quick. We have a list now.
We got. I know we were talking about the steel bat. That was fun.
The steel what?
The steel
Oh yeah,
pole.
yeah. Tell everybody about the metal pipe story.
Yeah. Do you remember the guy?
No, I don't.
You remember the guy that walked past us and like real aggressively spit a couple times, like right out front of this building?
When?
It happened like right before you came in to do RHR.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I don't remember what he looked
Okay.
like. Okay, but what happened?
Well, anyways, this guy, like, I saw him as we were like walking down to come over, and he was like further up Congress, and I saw him like he like punched a window, and then like went over to like this bag and just like punched the bag a couple times, and then when we were like standing out front before you went inside and I went away, he like walked past and like aggressively like spit 2 times in the opposite direction, and then you went inside, and I kind of started to walk away, but I saw the guy coming back, and I saw a security
Like,
guard who
with
was
the-
paying attention
with-
to him. I
with
didn't
the-
notice the steel pole at first. I just saw him walking back towards the opposite direction from where he had gone. He was like walking back towards me, not like at me, but just like in my general direction.
With the metal pipe?
Again, I didn't notice it, but yes, he was carrying it. There was a security guard, so I started kind of noticing like an elevated situation. And then all of a sudden, I was like standing on the patio out front, and he swings something, and I hear this loud clang because he hits the railing with a metal pole. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh, right here in front of the building?
Literally right in front of this building. And at that
he's like-
point,
he's like
he
amping
starts,
himself
he's
up.
like going down the road and he's getting more aggressive. He starts like hitting the trash can, and then he goes across the street and he's like hitting like telephone poles and like trees.
He's like amping himself
He's
up.
getting really, really, really aggressive. And I heard the security guard on the phone with 911, and I was just like, okay, like this guy might hurt somebody. So I just started tailing him from a distance as he like walked. And I also called 911 and I let them know, like, here's my number. Tell the police to call me because I'm going to make sure this guy doesn't hurt somebody. So like, I'll know where he's at because he's walking really quickly. He's not going to be where he is now. And eventually they did. We got to a certain point, like he kind of stopped swinging the pole after he like broke off the tip that had kind of bent when he hit the very first part. And then he like shoved it into his backpack and he walks all the way down to like Cesar Chavez. And then at some point he like takes off his shirt and like throws that aggressively. And then I guess he like used up all his energy because like we walked back up to the corner of 2nd and Guadalupe and he just decided to like sit on a rock and take a nap. And that's where I just like sat across the street, just like waiting for the police to show up. Eventually they arrived, they took the metal pipe and they went on their merry way. So
Yeah, that's the thing about Austin that most people don't realize, but that kind of thing, like
it's why Tara's like, it's like one of the biggest concerns Tara has about moving here.
no. I'll tell you why. Because like I've been living in Austin for a long time and come here my whole life. The thing about Austin, and it's kind of cool that you did the same thing. Like other people do that all the time, what you just did, but it's kind of interesting that you did it. You took it upon yourself to do it, but that's what Austinites do. That's how the real Austin does it. Like there's been multiple times when I used to ride the bus, I would have to like tell people to calm down because they were cursing in front of kids or saying like sexual things. And like that's a normal occurrence, but like it requires all these Austinites to step up because once you step up, another person will step up alongside you. Like this is why people don't last in Austin, is because if they don't, I'm not gonna say conform, but if they don't kind of follow within those kind of things, they kind of feel like they're kind of pushed out. You hear that guy, that comic, the big fat comic, I forget his name. Yeah, he talks about it all the time. He was shitting on Austin, but the reason he didn't last is because these similar things.
I mean, listen, I love Austin. There's just like every major city I've ever been in, there's things I don't like about it. The aggressive homelessness is for sure one of them here in Austin. I wish there was like a better solution. But like it's the same thing I told Tara yesterday when she said exactly what you said. Like I'm glad somebody did it because the justice system is a joke. And I was like, well, I like have a certain skill set and like I would feel morally responsible if I like saw a guy swinging a steel pipe knowing I could do something. Yeah. I don't know. I can't go over and like talk the guy into like a sane lifestyle. I can't like get him to probably like go get a shower on a job and like go back to being like a productive person in society. But what I can do in that moment is like I see something, it looks dangerous. I know I can prevent that if it is to happen. So like I just used my daily skill set to just like do what I knew was necessary. So at the very least, the guy's no longer walking around with a steel pipe. Like he's probably still somewhat dangerous, but he's not walking around with a metal pipe.
I mean, like
anymore,
it's like
so.
you said before, they're mentally unstable, right? And they're just out there, in the wild. So it's kind of like.
You think it's gotten better or worse?
I think it's gotten better than where we were like during the COVID lockdown. I feel like it's gotten better, but
well, that sucks.
there's always been aggressive. The honest thing is like there's always been aggressive people in Austin. And it's actually not as bad as where it was. Like on 4th Street underneath the 35. Like I remember walking when I was younger. I remember walking through there, and you didn't know if you were going to get attacked walking underneath the railroad track on 4th Street. But they built a bike path there now, and it's not as bad as where it once was. At least the east side.
I feel a little bit differently.
It doesn't. I think it's not as bad as where it once was. One other thing is like there will always be somebody stepping. I know me personally, if I saw a crime being committed or something, I would go and stop it. Like that's just who I am. I'm not gonna let that happen around me. Like, but people are different. Some people just want to worry about themselves. And
I think first to answer your question, at least from what I've seen, when I first got here, they were like voting on the camping ban. And they passed it for reinstating the camping ban. And since then, like when I first arrived, it definitely seems to be less like total encampments and less visible encampments. But what I've seen, like the question of like, is it better? It's like better in some ways, but then not better in other ways. Because what I've seen is like, it seems to be less encampments, less total homeless, like less out there. But the ones that still seem to be out there seem to be increasingly more agitated. Like they actually seem more aggressive than when I first got here. When there were more of them, I didn't notice people like like yelling at people on the street and like punching windows and swinging steel pipes. They were out there, but they were quieter and not as agitated. They seem to be more agitated now. And like that, for me, that's not like a great trade-off. I don't consider it better. I think there's still things to be solved. The second thing I'll say though, is that like, to his point, one of the things that definitely made the entire situation worse in a city like San Francisco is that everybody ignores it. Everybody talks about it like it's a problem, but no one individual does anything. They just like walk past it. They pretend it's not a problem. And because they do that, it like that energy goes all the way up to government and nothing happens. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse because no one's addressing it. So on an individualized basis, I think it's like we bear some responsibility to realize that like this is actually happening and we should do what we can to try and make it better. I'll be back.
Well, it's also like,
Come up here, Austin. Go for it.
Woo!
Austin.
Austin from Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's because you just came here. You just came here from Oklahoma. How do you look at it?
yeah, I mean, there's a problem in Oklahoma as well. And I feel like being in Oklahoma City, like I was there my whole life. And the last few years, especially through COVID, like I saw things getting worse. Like I was a delivery driver. I drove all around the city and just shops are closing down. There's more people visibly on the street. And I feel like that's been a trend for most places. Like Austin is one of the few places that actually has a ton of economic growth. But, you know, at the same time, it's getting worse. And then it's like, if we, you know, really think that what's happening with the dollar is going to continue to happen, the inflation and the devaluing, more and more people are going to fall into that category. And those people maybe aren't like mentally ill. Like most homeless people, like 90% are mentally ill or something like that.
Right.
Like it's a very high percentage. Yeah, and addicts. Like really, that's the 99%, right? Is addicts and people who are mentally ill and some mix of both of those things. But it's just like it's definitely going to get worse. And I mean, you know, it's like what do you do? Like I used to be a part of church programs that would help out the homeless, but it's such a difficult, you know,
It's a difficult role to take on, just like, as like a community church. I don't know, man. I don't know the answers, but I'm here to help. I think Keon had mentioned one time. I don't know where Keon's at, but he had mentioned one time that he was thinking about. He had an idea or something to fix it, but I'm willing to help if somebody figures it out.
Yeah. I mean, if someone is homeless and they have a smartphone and they're motivated, like there are definitely opportunities, and maybe there's an opportunity for someone like in the Bitcoin world to kind of express those opportunities and try to find a way to network with those people who are genuinely struggling and they're trying to get out of that situation.
Yeah. But there's a
I mean,
to
yeah.
me, Austin, there's a big difference between like the peaceful homeless people that I think we can have empathy for them, and they, even though they're there because of their choices, when it sucks for them. But the ones that are aggressive and, you know, threatening women and children, I mean,
Well, yeah, and
they don't
that,
deserve they don't deserve to live, in my opinion. I mean, if you're threatening like women like that guy, hitting everywhere, like if there's a child coming by, he's gonna hit a child. I mean, doesn't I mean, completely worthless, endangering people. Sorry, man. But
Yeah, no,
we should have some measures. I don't know.
I see what you're saying. I mean, this guy tried to fight me outside of my apartment.
Really?
Yeah, he tried. I bought a
Like,
cold
here
brew.
or in our old
Yeah,
place?
here, like 2 weeks ago.
Which
Here?
guy?
At the comments?
No,
or-
no, I just like walked away, you know. But I had a cold brew, and he was like, "Hey, man, let me buy that for $1." And I was like, "No, this was like $2. That's not worth it. I'm not gonna do that." And then he just started like insulting me, and then he asked me for a cigarette. And I was like, "I don't have a cigarette."
I think what happened, Cos?
A week ago, our friend Matt, mutual friend Matt, had a homeless guy sleeping at the front door of his house.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
With a blanket and like a bottle of
What
liquor and
the
everything.
fuck?
Just like right outside. his
What
front
the
door.
fuck?
He lives way down South Austin. He's like in a community too, but it's not like fenced in or anything.
Why did he pick his spot?
I don't know. I just
Whoa.
What do you do?
What, Matt? Did you
Knowing Matt, he probably helped him.
Matt Donna? Yeah. At his house, his own property.
But he probably helped him. Knowing Matt, he
I
probably.
think he like
Yeah.
offered him a drink or something.
Yeah,
Well,
I know how Matt is.
But then he's gonna come back.
Leave or something.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
But with the people who are violent and the people who are genuinely insane and a danger to society, this is why I want to see more open carry. Like I was really hoping, like moving to Austin, I was hoping to see it a little bit more, but it's like,
where's yours at? Right? This is
Well-
you can't bring a gun in here, by the way.
okay, oops. But no, I'm just kidding. But
He's kidding, Parker. He's kidding. There is no gun in here.
But you know, like, if no one else is doing it and you're the one person open carrying, it's almost like you put yourself at a little bit more risk.
for sure.
You're like making yourself
You're a
a
target.
target in some ways versus like concealed carrying, but you don't know who's doing that. But with the open carry, it's just like, yo, I'm right here, like, you know, no one's gonna do anything crazy. I'm a civil citizen.
know.
If your
Yeah.
life is threatened in Texas, you're allowed to defend yourself.
Yeah.
With lethal force.
I don't know, man. I'm blessed. I never have those issues. Hey, what's up, Mitch? I never have those issues. But I'm a big guy, so I think that's probably why. So I'm super nice though.
He's a
So,
teddy bear, man.
but I think you have to like one time me and Super were walking together, and they were picking on Super, and then like
Who was picking on Super?
like just some random like kind of similar thing to him where
Yeah.
It happens to everyone. It's
Yeah,
It's
it
like
happens
school
every-
bullies. They like ask for your stuff. Or they ask you to do something
And
unreasonable.
I just got in the
They
middle.
like,
I just
push
got in the
you.
middle of it. It was just like I was like, "What's going on?" Like I changed my tone, changed my demeanor, and then he just like walked away. But like you have to like switch.
That's a big
to that.
problem. Just the fact that you have to go through that.
Exactly.
It's a huge problem.
But I know me and Kyle have talked about it before. It's like for me personally, I can turn it off and on. Kyle's the same way. You can turn it off and on, but it's like not everybody can do that.
But you shouldn't have to turn it on.
You're right. You shouldn't have to. This is the state of the world.
Yeah, but this is a real world. You know, there's risks out there, and it's like a lot of what we're against is the handing over of responsibility, like they were talking about last night in the Freedom Panel.
exactly.
Like the trade-off of you're handing over your responsibility, and safety is kind of one of those things as well. Like you always want to be able to protect yourself, you know, within reasonable amount of situations.
That's why I'm not scared of like walking down an alley in the middle of the night by myself. Like for one, I know God got me, and for a second thing, like I think I could take care of myself. But like not everybody feels like that. But I think that's when it comes to how you live as a man, I guess. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Austin.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh wow, really? What's your podcast?
No, it's not around anymore. But we did like 35 episodes.
Oh man,
Won't become boring.
won't become boring.
boring.
Oh cool.
Check
I'm gonna check it out.
Why'd you stop?
A year ago? Okay.
About a year ago?
Yeah, it was me and the vocalist for my band.
Oh boss. Dude, put it in the Telegram. I want to see it.
I have an episode.
Yeah, put it in the Telegram.
Noise. And I missed a little bit of what you were talking about, but I caught the tail end. And I guess the answer to your question, what do I think? I think Austin was right.
Sorry.
You good now?
Yeah, sorry.
I think Austin was right at the kind of tail end of his segment there, which was that like Simon's point that like you shouldn't have to do that. It's like that's not the real world. Like it like the whole idea of like the Thanos snap, like how do we make the world better, or how do we like stop having problems? It's like I've talked about that in like every type of situation where it's like we start talking about how do we get to like that better place we're trying to go. Everybody, or not everybody, but there's like a good number of people that have this like idealized version of like what things are going to look like and how we do it. But oftentimes we have this like bias of like we know how to do it, so we should just do it this way. But it tends to be a way that's not really rooted in the reality we actually live in, right? Like, well, if we didn't have government and we didn't have this and we didn't have this, then we would just do this. And it's like, well, great, but we do have government and we do have this and we do have this. So like within those actual confines that we actually live in, what are the steps to get us to where we want to go? And that piece of the puzzle is kind of often missed.
Do you think it's
like,
just more like practicality?
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't say it's hopium, but more it's like disobedience, or is that too strong of a word?
What is what?
Making that decision internally, what you just talked about.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with disobedience, really. I think practicality is probably a good word for it. Like,
Then what do you call the other side that's like, just ignore, keep going?
I don't know if I have like a good word
Yeah,
off the top of
it's
my
kind
head,
of-
but it's like ignorance probably would be a good word for it. Because I don't personally believe that you should ignore and keep going forward. You should acknowledge and keep going forward.
Good point.
So
So maybe you could be practical while acknowledging all the terror and all that kind of stuff
right.
along the way.
I think a lot of the problem is that we as a species don't want to acknowledge our own biases. So like, as an example, we talked about it when I did a conversation with the mayor in San Francisco, and it was this idea, this other panelist had mentioned this idea of we should put aside our biases and like work to be more compassionate for the homeless and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, I would counter that narrative with we actually shouldn't ignore our biases. We should acknowledge them because they're there. And I think the best way to move forward past our biases is to acknowledge those subconscious biases. For whatever reason they're there, they're there. If you're afraid of the homeless, there's a reason that you're afraid of that homeless person. If you're telling yourself you're not racist, but you walk past somebody that's not your skin color and you have like a racist thought, like acknowledge that you are actually having those thoughts, and then you can work on being better. But if we're trying to pretend that we don't have those biases, you're actually not going to be or move forward to make things actually better.
Damn.
That's when you're going to walk past it and ignore it and pretend it's not a problem when it actually is. So I think
pretty,
acknowledgement is better than ignorance. I don't know. That went down the rabbit hole a little bit, but
I mean, not everyone has those bias though.
I think most people do.
Well, that's your bias.
Sure.
I don't
I'll
think
call
so.
that my bias. You don't think that the average human being has any biases at all?
No, they have bias.
Sure.
But I don't think like most of humans in the United States have race bias.
Well,
That's
I'm not.
bullshit.
I'm not suggesting that
Maybe
there
some
was
people
like.
do, but most people don't. White supremacists.
Sure. Like. I wasn't necessarily trying to target one particular bias that a group of people has like more or less of. I'm simply suggesting that like on an individualized basis, we all have biases, whether subconscious or conscious or whatever they are, right? I think a lot of people have subconscious biases. And what I'm suggesting is that like instead of trying to ignore them further, the best way to grow and become a better person is to bring them from subconscious biases to conscious biases, because once you're actually consciously looking at them, you can start to get rid of them. You can start to ask yourself real questions like, why did I have that thought? Why did I do that action? But until you actually acknowledge it, you're just continuing to ignore it, and it doesn't actually get better.
Yeah, it's good stuff, Kyle. I'm trying to think. I've definitely grown a lot over the course of a year since we've been doing this, but I think, like for me, I'm trying to think of biases I had. I definitely had a biases towards like when we were at Capitol, like just dealing with those type of people that are just entirely like money driven,
Too deep.
like fiat money driven. I think that's kind of like one of my biases that I've definitely have set that aside in order to accomplish some goals, or to build bridges or whatever you want to call them. But I used to definitely have a fintech bias or whatever you would call it. Just because I saw how even like I used to have an Ethereum bias, right? Like I still do, but I'm definitely not as like crazy as I once was like a year ago.
I know one of
writing
Simon's
Ethereum
biases.
hit pieces.
You have a bias towards people that identify as left.
Yeah, I think they're Trash.
There you go. What else?
Let's get on a lighter note.
Yeah,
Like,
what else-
I
what
feel
else
like
is on the
I feel
list?
like the highlight of the show is like getting Ben Carmen on, and then just went, "Whoa," right? Let's just get this girl back on the right track here. What
else is
about?
on our list?
I wanted to talk about.
It was a good list this week, so let's.
As we already talked about the Epic ABC. Oh, Nashville. We're going to Nashville next week. Who's going to Nashville here? Is it just? Are you still going? No. Just come.
Yeah.
Sure. Topher. He might. Constantine, you're going to Nashville, right?
Couple of maybes in the audience.
You're going to Nashville? Yeah. So anyway, a lot of us are going to go to Nashville. Check out Bitcoin Park. Simon, are you coming?
No, unfortunately.
Simon loves it here in Austin.
It's the place to be.
I work. I have a job, man. I have a day job, so.
Oh, do you really?
work
Let's
sometimes.
come here and talk about your day job,
Dude, do you wanna? So
I know.
we did we did my personal story with the pipe, but can we also talk about
What?
the fact that I'm moving into an apartment and out of?
Oh
the
yeah, I didn't know. Kyle's no longer a bum.
No, keep it.
What's the house for?
Yes.
When is your girlfriend moving in with you?
So we get the apartment August 2nd
Tell everybody where you live.
I'm
just kidding.
in a FedEx truck down by the river.
Down by the seaside.
Yeah. So no, we get the apartment August 2nd. And
So you said you
then
needed a truck.
I'm looking for assistance moving a couple of things. Like I have my FedEx truck, but because there's a house built inside of it, it's not actually like a great cargo truck. But I want to pick up a couch, and there's like a couple other things that I need to get. From
Well,
maybe,
I'll
like,
help you
Home
out.
Depot,
I mean,
My dad has a pickup truck that's in town half of the week.
oh, there you
in
go,
town
Logan.
half of the week. Okay, cool. Well,
Isn't
if,
it your brother's truck?
My brother has a truck for work
That's not the one.
that has
Oh, okay.
My dad has like a small pickup.
All right. Well,
Well, I mean, anything will work. There was
Ask
another
Papa
person.
Troy.
I got a couple of people that have like mentioned the possibility of it. So I mean, we still got a little bit of time until then.
count me in.
But anybody who
as long
like,
as you buy
anybody
us
who's-
dinner.
I'm gonna cook dinner in the apartment.
that works.
So we're gonna do a steak and potato dinner for the handful of people.
Wait, is
that-
it the goulash?
No, steak and potato. That's steak and.
I like
Goulash
goulash.
is pronounced goulash. Steak and potato is pronounced steak and.
You guys should
potato.
try this goulash. It's really good.
That's a wintertime food. When it gets a little colder, I'll bring in some goulash.
Yeah, Kyle's actually if he wouldn't have been a Bitcoin bum, he could have been like a Bitcoin chef. Few people.
Yeah, I have no desire to.
When Pleb Lab restaurant.
Never, because I don't have the time for that. But I do enjoy cooking. It's like the art, I would say. I've been.
Do you want to do a cooking
perfecting
show?
The longest. A PBS chef, like it's a
We could probably do a cooking show.
Saturday
It would
morning
be funny.
cooking show.
Everything is content.
We can move this show to the kitchen.
Everything is.
Oh yeah, we
content.
probably
That
could do.
sounds-
Yeah, we probably could do a PBS in the kitchen. Maybe when you move, we'll just go set up there,
I don't
and
think
then like
Tara
you'll just be
will
cooking.
approve of PBS being filmed in a cooking show in the kitchen.
Man. Gosh. Oh yeah, by the way, thanks Tara for the Pleb Lab hat. She got me a Pleb Lab hat.
That he did not
I
wear.
forgot it.
Who got that?
Tara
My
made it.
girl designed that, and then Car got one this week from her.
I was
that's
wearing it.
black with the blue
I left it at home
floral
today.
and like a teal patch.
Forgot it.
We're working on turning this into actual custom official merch for Pleb Lab, so there will be some more of them coming down the pipeline.
We still need to talk to Jana about the shirts.
Yeah, you're the artist. Don't say we. You talk to her about the shirts.
We need to figure it
All
out.
you do is come to me and say, "This is how much money I need," and then I get things done.
Wow.
So.
Wow. This is how much money I need for Logan. No, I'm just kidding. That's what people say. We're gonna go watch Thor.
I guess he doesn't want
We're
to
gonna go
hold my
watch Thor after this. Anybody want in? I got like
Oh, that is tonight.
I got
isn't
extra
it?
3 tickets. Topher, you ready to go? So that's it.
Simon, to answer the question that I never got to answer,
2 tickets, John.
she comes down for 9 days in the middle of August with her girls. And then they go back to school. They'll be staying with their dad for the time being, doing school in Pittsburgh, and then she moves down officially the 1st of September.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, life is pretty good, man.
And then Nate's back. He was supposed to show up.
Life is blessed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he had a call.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He said he'd be here for PBS. That bastard. Sorry, God.
Yeah. That's all I got. You guys got anything today?
We love Nate.
Do you guys have anything else?
Talk about the Guidestones.
The which one?
The Georgia Guidestones.
Oh, Consti, come here. Come talk about it with Kyle. Unless you want to stay.
I'm down.
Okay, here.
I know.
Come talk
I
about
know
it with Kyle.
just a tiny little bit about it, but come on.
Tell us, because I'm interested.
I'm sure Wef paid for it. It's definitely Weffy.
Yeah, so it's like quasi-related to. Alright. We were talking about your pedicab friend who did the mandatory abortion thing.
Yeah, he's
Well, in a similar vein, the Georgia Guidestones are like this monument. I think it was built by some shadowy organization in like the early 20th century, something like that, in Georgia, and it has like all
This
these.
is the state of Georgia or
Yes,
the country
the state,
Georgia?
no, U.S.
Okay, it was a U.S. thing.
It's probably like at some level related to Klaus Schwab. And that's probably a rumor that I just made up right now, but I wouldn't be surprised. There
All
could-
statistics are 50-50.
it's a Malthusian
84% of
monument.
them are made up on the spot.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's because it has like guidelines for a happy planet or something like this, and one of them is maintaining a planet population under 500 million. Whoa. Yeah.
500 million.
Yeah. So anyway, who knows like where this really came from or how they actually got it
Get
like,
vaccinated, folks.
permitted to be built. Yeah, but some crazy bastard blew it up.
I'm trans-vaccinated.
Yeah. They used some sort of incendiary device to blow up. It's got like 3 columns, like Stonehenge type columns, and then it has like a roof on it. I guess it makes like a weird like 3 thing with those. And yeah, so they blew up one of the columns.
I think my favorite comment that I saw in like anything attached to, sorry, Keon, I'm in the middle of a show. I think my favorite comment that I saw attached to like anybody talking about the Georgia Guidestones was one of the ones where it just like showed the video of it like blowing up, and they were just like, oh, we can capture dual angles in like in high quality footage of this thing blowing up, but we couldn't get cameras in a prison cell.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, after they blew up the first tower, awkward choice, but yeah, after they blew up the first stone, then they had to just destroy the rest of the monument because it's like structurally unsound and whatever. And yeah, probably better that that thing doesn't exist, but I don't know. It was just kind of like a creepy thing. And the only reason I paid attention to it is because I read about it like previous to this. And I was like, wow, that's some creepy like World Economic Forum shit. So yeah, probably good.
I love to see.
That is like wet.
Okay, no, so it's not confirmed, but WEF is down into that whole
It's written all over it.
Malthusian thing. And then this was built by a group that clearly had some relationship with the government in order to get the permitting for this thing in the park.
You can read
Yeah.
WEF
Is it UN?
between all the lines.
It's weird. You know, you can look up the rest of the things
Do you
that were
also
written
find
on
it fascinating though that at the same time that happened, we're starting to see the revolts and things like happen all over the place. Like there's
you got
literally like hunger
Netherlands.
revolts in Sri Lanka. The prime minister of the UK is just like resigned.
Oh, and
Boris
Shinzo-
Johnson stepped down. Shinzo Abe
Yeah.
was assassinated.
Did you see the gun?
That's fun.
Did you see the images?
I didn't, but
It's
like
good. It's like two metal pipes duct taped to a piece of wood because they don't have guns there.
Yeah.
So you know, it's just goes to show like you know Japan's got probably the strictest gun laws in the world.
Yep.
And
They're up
they
there.
didn't really do anything. So you know, better close down all the Home Depots so no more leaders get assassinated. Yeah.
If you give the Good News Fairy that idea and they close down Home Depot, I'm gonna stab you with something from Lowe's.
Exactly.
I would be a sad boy if I didn't have access to Home Depot or Lowe's. I love building shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just don't build any homemade guns. I think we'll be all right.
I promise. No.
Yes. Oh,
So Shinzo Abe was the prime minister of Japan during the time that Bitcoin was being launched.
Nice.
And under his tenure, the Japanese government was very favorable to Bitcoin. They allowed Mt. Gox, like say what you will about Mt. Gox, but they allowed Mt. Gox to exist as a first real Bitcoin exchange.
Yeah.
So Japan did a lot for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what the reasoning. I haven't looked much into his assassination, but like, it just does seem
He's also
fascinating.
staunchly
that, like,
anti-China.
Yeah.
So they're pretty happy about that, I'm sure.
There's a lot going on that's really interesting in the world right now. The next couple of like weeks, months, years is going to be it's already crazy as hell.
Yeah, can we just like have it
it's such
not
a
interesting
wild-
for just a few weeks, months, maybe? Like last 2-3 years have been interesting enough, you know?
Well, so okay, I actually was talking with Alex Svetsky at BitBlock Boom last year, and it was me, him, and John Carvalho. And we were talking about the kind of crazy and the collapse and what was coming. And we got on the subject of like whether it would be better if it happened like fast and crazy or kind of like slow and steady and drawn out.
You went fast, didn't you?
I thought slow.
Okay, yeah.
John Carvalho actually hit me with the opposite of like this idea that we should do it fast because like the worse things get, the more niche and targeted and effective what we build ends up being. Because when it's slow and drawn out and like the thing isn't forcing everybody to build what's necessary,
Right.
you end up with Celsius and like all of these other things that are fluff, that aren't necessary, that aren't actually beneficial. And then it was Svetsky who shows up and was like, he's like, trust me, it's like whether we want it to or not, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen fast. He's like, just look at history as the precedent. He's like, you go back a couple of years and it was like every year things were getting dumber. And then all of a sudden, 2 years ago, then it started getting dumber every quarter.
Yeah, we went
He's
full
like, by
retard.
next year, it's going to be getting dumber every month. And shortly after that, it'll be getting dumber every week. And then it's going to get dumber every day.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not far off until it's going to be getting dumber by the minute.
So this is like the debate that they have with the Fed. Every minute getting dumber. Yeah, so this is the debate that they have too with the Fed. Like, is it going to be a hard landing or a soft landing? And, I think over the last few months, now most of the world can agree that like they can't get a soft landing if they tried. And now it looks like they're just going straight to hard landing in order to avoid inflation. So like instead of inflation, which is, admittedly now a huge problem, they're going straight into the Great Depression territory. Because there's the choice. You go hyperinflation or Great Depression. So.
No, but they're going to go into hyperinflation, I'm sure.
Well, I think we're going to get both. I think we're going to get the stagflation depression.
I agree. That's likely the way
So,
we're going.
why choose, when you can have both?
Yeah. Let's just keep bouncing back and forth faster and faster until we end up in the middle of both.
Yep.
Yeah.
So hard landing it is.
All right.
We're
This
out.
was a great show. Before we go,
Great show.
to end
Voltage.
all of this beautiful, beautiful, high quality positivity, thank you, Voltage, for your sponsorship of PBS.
Shout out Voltage.
In a world that's falling to shit, you want your lightning infrastructure to remain stable and high quality. That's Voltage. We love you guys. We thank you guys. Until next time.